Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome. So, as you've probably read by the title, or maybe you've seen it on Twitter, or maybe you've seen it on the YouTube community post, this is going to be the end of this YouTube channel. Now, I wanted to start this video by saying thank you to everyone. Now, of course, a lot of people are probably wondering, like, why is this the end? Like, why are you deciding to turn your back on us? And my reason is very, very simple. I'm heading, and I've already headed, I guess, but I'm heading into a very, very busy time of my life. Let's see what busy, stressful as well, but busy time of my life. And honestly, the thing with football channel, with this channel in particular, is that it's very, very topical. So, you know, that's also the reason why I'm ending this channel, because it's so topical in a sense that, like, you know, games happen every week. And if I'm not making a video every week, then, you know, talking about a specific game, it's already too late at that point. And because I'm going to be so extremely busy, and so life's going to be so extremely stressful, you know, while I'm still going to be watching every single Bayern game, don't get me wrong, I will, most of the time, I will, you know, these will be recordings, you know, these will be, you know, 3-4 weeks after the game has already happened. So I'm not gonna make a video, you know, 4 weeks after a game has already happened. That's not gonna fly, really, is it? So that's why I just decided to call it quits, and I kind of elaborated on that a little bit in my community post, that I feel like it's almost not fair on people if I just said, yeah, you know, I'm just taking a 2-year break or so, and, you know, and then I'll be back, because at that point I'm giving people hope that, you know, for people that, you know, are hopeful, I'm giving people hope that, oh, in 2 years' time it's going to be back, and then 2 years' time comes around and I might not be back. So I'd much rather just call it quits at this point, with the option. It's almost like a football contract. It's a 3-year contract with the option of 1+ years. But in this case, I am quitting this channel officially. It's over, done, dusted. But I'm not ruling out the possibility for me to come back in 5 years or 10 years' time. I'm just saying that, you know, don't expect it. I don't want to, like, well, I don't want you to expect it. It's not going to happen, most likely. Like, I'll still be on Twitter. I'll still be talking about games, because even, you know, if I can watch games on my phone, I guess, while I'm doing other things, and I can still talk about transfer rumors whenever I see them on my phone. But doing videos itself and uploading those, I won't have the time for that, really. Because I won't be watching the games, you know, while they're happening as well most of the time. Maybe the odd game here or there, but most of the time that won't be the case. So with that said, I do want to thank all of you. There are a lot of people here that have been here for a very long time. I mean, I started this channel, I think 7 years ago now. So it's been a very, very, very long time. And it's been a very, very fun time, and also very, very not so fun time at times. But I kind of like both. I mean, it's been mainly fun. Like, let's not kid ourselves. It's been mainly fun. People have been nice, as they typically are. They see someone talk about something, even if they don't disagree. People are less likely to write hate comments or critical comments than they are to agree with you. If somebody agrees with you, they tend to write a comment telling you, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Whereas if somebody disagrees with you, they don't really tend to be like, you suck. Yeah. Well, maybe we will just say you suck. They don't really give you an argument, which has always been my big disappointment, honestly, is that people don't like to argue. They much rather just, I don't disagree with you, well, dislike, and I'm leaving. Instead of just like, you know what, you make a good point, but nah, you're wrong, and I'll prove you how. You know, this channel has always been about discussions. I've always tried to be level-headed, because naturally I'm a very level-headed person. I am very emotional, obviously, but I'm one of those people that don't let emotion cloud my judgment at all. Like, emotions are never going to cloud my judgment. I'm also level-headed than emotional, despite the fact that I'm very, very emotional. So it's a weird thing to be, like, very, very... It's more so, not so much like sad emotions, but more so it's the extreme happiness that I kind of just naturally have, I guess. You know, that's just naturally a trait of mine. But I always try to combine, you know, my happiness and just my overwhelming confidence with level-headedness, you know, basically. So yeah, with that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm about to be very, very busy. You could probably tell, you know, I made the community post and I made the Twitter post like 4 days ago, and ideally I wanted to make a video about this right away as well, but it's been 4 days since I've been able to have some time to make this video, just to sit down, actually gather my thoughts, and actually, you know, convey them to all of you. And that's exactly what I'm able to do right now. So with that, again, once more, thank you for everything, everyone, and maybe until another time, maybe not. But most importantly, it's going to be a fun season, hopefully. Obviously Nagelsmann, appearing. I kind of like what we've seen from the training videos as well. Omar Richards has looked very, very good. I quite like his tenacity that we've seen in the training videos so far. Before I leave, I guess I'm gonna give some predictions, not just for this season, but just for the next few years, I guess, as a whole. So I wanted to start with the team, I guess, in terms of players that I feel like are gonna do very, very well over the next couple of years. I don't know if I'll ever be back. I can't say that. I can't. I'm very impulsive. If you can't tell, I'm very, very impulsive. So I can't say whether I'll ever really be back. But at least for the next 2 years or so, I won't be. So I guess I'll give my thoughts like the next few years. So obvious players that I think are gonna do very, very well at Bayern are gonna be Musiala. Not much of a surprise, I guess, with his breakout season last season. You've got Torben Rhein, who I think is gonna have a fantastic. Maybe not this season. I think he should be getting minutes this season, honestly, but definitely next season. When I say next season, I mean obviously the 2022-2023 season. Definitely he's gonna be one of those people. He's gonna be a star. It's as simple as that. He's gonna be a star, Torben Rhein. You've got the likes. I really like what I've saw from Omar Richards, so I actually have very high hopes from him. For him, and I think he's gonna do spectacularly well at Bayern as well. In the long term. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Now, in terms of like what I think is gonna happen over the next couple of years, I guess I go into that as well. Besides just the youth players. Next couple of years. By the way, for those wondering about my plans of becoming a football, well, all right, becoming a scout was never my intention. I wanted to do the scouting course because that's like the easiest route to get into football, because it's very easy to work with professional teams through a scouting work. At least in the UK, it is. That's just the general route that like most people that work at football clubs, they start through scouting, and it's very, very simple to get into football clubs, to work for football clubs through scouting, and which is why I always wanted to do the scouting courses, because ultimately I wanted to become a director of football rather than just a scout. I wanted to become a director of football, because I'm not going to become a manager. Let's face it, nobody's going to hire. It's the unfortunate thing, but nobody's ever going to hire someone as a football manager that hasn't played football at least at like the third level, at third league level. And it's a shame because it happens so rarely that it's like, there's no point even trying it. Despite the fact that I do think I have a wealth of knowledge that, obviously that isn't at its maximum, isn't at its limit. I'm just here, someone that's observing football as a fan. I'm not really intricately looking at it as a manager would, directing the chess pieces on a chessboard. That's not really what I've been doing, so I can't say that I'm at my limit when it comes to knowledge. There's always a lot more that you can learn, and I would have loved to take on multiple courses to do that if there was an actual path into becoming a if there was an actual path into becoming an established manager for a first tier club if you achieve success. But unfortunately that is not the case. It's not the case, honestly. So I've given up that thought of mine. I mean, the only way I could see myself ever becoming a manager, honestly, is if I bought my own club, and at that point it's just like, that's not really it. That's not really why that's not really why you become a manager, at least in my mind. So unfortunately I've given up that hope, that wish of mine. But that's something that is always just a far-fetched wish that I've never even saw as realistic. But for those wondering if I'm still going to do my coaching badges, yes, I am. They're mainly online. Mainly, not 100%, but they're mainly online. And the only reason why I haven't done them already is because, as I mentioned previously, it's that coronavirus, with COVID and the whole situation. Because in England at least, I can't speak for the whole world, but in England at least, at the end of your levels, getting your levels, you also get to be in a seminar, in a talk with established managers in like first team leagues and whatnot, and hear what they have to say about football. And I think that valuable insight is something that I would like to experience in person, because in person you can also network. Whereas with COVID, with COVID happening and so on and so forth, that wasn't really possible because it's an online session. It's like I appreciate an online session, but like you're not gonna network, you're not gonna talk to people, you're not gonna really pick their brain apart, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, and that's why I'm waiting until like everything resumes to normality, and I can then go to the seminars and actually get knowledge that way from experienced managers in the first league of British football, the Premier League. So unfortunately, I've had to put that on hold, but if I do have time and if if things do return to normality, I will definitely be doing that. But yeah, in terms of like the club, I think Lewandowski is gonna leave the next season. Not this season, not this summer. Next summer, I think he's gonna leave, and I think the replacement that we're gonna sign is Haaland. I think I've said this before that like Haaland with his release clauses, he's basically made to be a Bayern player. And with Oliver Kahn and Razo and Dresden, if I'm being completely honest, with them. We're not going to buy another player this summer. Like, let's face it, we're not going to purchase another player. They've consistently and constantly stressed how poor we are this summer. But there was one thing that I found very interesting in Salihamidzic's press conference was it with Oliver Kahn, and it had to have been with Oliver Kahn and Nagelsmann, the recent press conference that happened like 3 or 4 days ago, and he was basically just saying there are obvious limits that we have right now with Corona, and we've talked about them multiple times before, and that's why we have to work within our means. But also in the future, once those constraints are gone, once our budget is back to normality, we are not afraid to break a few. What would be a good way to translate it? To go above and beyond what we've done previously. To me, that just kind of screams a Haaland transfer, because with Haaland, it's not so much his transfer. I think the reported release clause is like 70 million euros, so it's a lot. But we've obviously paid 80 million for Lucas Hernandez, so it's not like this has never happened before. But with Haaland, it's his wage that is the issue, because obviously I think his agent is Mini Raiola. I forgot what his first name is. I think regardless, his agent is Raiola, and he wants to make Haaland the first 1 million euros a week player, or is it 1 million pounds a week player? I'm not 100% sure, but I saw something like that a long time ago, that like he wants to make Haaland the first player that earns that kind of wage. So I think that's going to be like the big thing with Bayern, is that we're going to get Haaland, and we're going to try and negotiate, and make it, instead of like paying him 1 million a week. I mean, you could Messi kind of makes that, but it doesn't matter. Instead of paying him that, we'll pay him say 500,000 a week, which is still a pretty penny. That's 26 million. You pay me 26 million, I'll be happy. But yeah, instead of doing that, we could do 500 million. It's gonna create some contract conflicts here and there in the team. I can already smell those coming. But hopefully by then normality will have resumed, and we actually will have a lot more money. Who knows? But yeah, I think Haaland's going to be one of those deals that people sort of expect as a troll thing, but I actually expect as a serious thing, because we generally always go for targets that already know the Bundesliga, so they can integrate well with our team. And I think Haaland's going to be perfect for that in the long term. How long that will be, I don't know. But yeah. Also, another talking about young talents, and not so much not a Bayern talent, but I guess a Germany talent. Moukoko. I've said before that for me, he's going to be the best player in the world in a few years' time, and I'm 100% sticking with that. That's the one player I'm putting my foot down and saying, yeah, he's a 16-year-old kid. Give him till he's 20. By the time he's 20, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be the top 5 player in the world by the time he's 20, and then by the time he's like 23, 24. He's really gonna be the best player, like by far. That's my honest opinion on Moukoko. I think if there's one player, unless he leaves the Bundesliga, but if there's one player that can break Gerd Muller's records, overall goal scoring records, because I think Lewandowski is gonna leave after next season. If there's one player that I think will eventually break that record, it's gonna be Moukoko. I fully believe that's the reason why Dortmund put first of all, the DFL lowered the age that you can be to start in the Bundesliga to from 17 to 16, just because of Moukoko. That tells you how much hope the DFL has in him as well. Dortmund I fully believe that they put the release clause into Haaland's contract for next year, so that Moukoko would have, a year to kind of get used to their team, and then a year after that, to really get a lot of game time. And I think, after Haaland leaves, he's going to be their main striker. 5 years down the line, again, I think he's going to be top 5, top 3 world footballers of all time. That's the one player I'm putting my foot down, absolutely 100%. Hopefully he moves to Bayern as well, but I'm not actually sure about that, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, with that said, I think Nagelsmann is going to be one of the few times at Bayern where we actually have a coach that's going to stay for a long time. And by a long time, I mean like 3+ years, because we haven't had managers that stay for 3+ years this decade. We've had managers that stayed for 3 years, but not 3+ years. So I feel like, last decade, I guess. So I feel like Nagelsmann's going to be like the first one that's really going to be there for a prolonged period of time, which I'm very happy about. We're going to start the season probably with like a flexible 3-4-3, moving 3-4-3 with like sometimes moving into a back 4, but predominantly a 3-4-3, maybe a 3-5-2. And then I feel like we're going to slowly shift in like from this year until like next year and the year after to maybe like a 4-3-3. But instead of like what we've had sort of under Flick, we're going to have it on a traditional 4-3-3, with one holding midfielder and 2 central midfielders, rather than 2 central midfielders and 1 more attacking midfielder. Instead of the Christmas, it's not really a Christmas tree, is it now? But instead of that having that going on, I think we're going to have a inverted 4-3-3, a traditional 4-3-3, rather, I should say. Yeah. With that said, though, I think I've given my thoughts on a lot of things. I will see all of you never. I was going to say I'll see all of you next time, but, when is next time? Is there going to be a next time? I don't know. No, but realistically, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for all the support, all the criticism as well. I do enjoy both, I must admit. I'm like one of the few YouTubers, one of the few people probably that enjoy criticism, but I'd much rather people be honest with me than just, be positive and happy behind, in front of me, and then like talk shit about me behind my back. Just tell me how you feel, basically. That's kind of what I always, that's why I always said, like, you can be on these videos, and when I did discussions, I didn't do too many, granted, but I always said, like, you can be, you can have different opinions than me. I'd be absolutely okay with discussing them as long as you keep it respectable. That's the key word here, respectable. Respect it. With that said, one more time, thank you to everyone, and I'll see you all wherever and whenever the course of life, whenever and wherever the course of life, and whenever and wherever the wind of fate takes us. And whenever that is, I might see you all. Wherever that is, I might see you all. If that doesn't happen, if the wind of fate and the wind of destiny doesn't arrive, then who knows if I'll ever see you or not. With that said, though, peace out, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye, and thank you.